Can't believe she became a boy mom. Tragedy. Boy mom is more of a mindset beyond being a mother of a boy, but it's simply not fair that a male gets to grow and say his mother is Barbie. Like he's not going to appreciate that in a way a girl would. It's such a waste. I would never want to subject a little girl to having an older brother. And other completely normal reactions to Margot Robbie giving birth to a boy. I think we need to talk. Welcome to Mother Thinks Best, where I, Liz, chat about all sorts of things that pique my interest as a mother, scientist, and content creator. So, Margot Robbie gave birth to a healthy baby boy, and oh boy did the internet absolutely spiral. While many people have extended their wholehearted congratulations, some unhinged reactions indeed occurred. And it was absolutely wild to observe. Like, what is this misguided case of second-hand gender disappointment? Gender disappointment is a very real thing, and studies show that a hefty proportion of moms has at least passing thoughts about the gender of their future baby not meeting their expectations. Gender disappointment is indeed a very complex phenomenon, but there is a theory that I personally feel like has a massive juicy seed of truth in it. And this theory basically states that gender disappointment often occurs not because the future mother actually hates girls or boys, but rather because they have this idea of what life could have been if the baby was of a different gender, and what experiences and wholesome moments they would have shared together. So where do these visions come from? Potentially from gender stereotypes. And the backlash against Margot Robbie sort of underscores this. The baggage that comes with being a boy mom, a girl mom, and the societal pressure to fit into roles solely based on a child's sex. The term boy mom is by no means new. It used to be this light-hearted and subtle way of expressing pride and joy in raising little boys. But over time, unfortunately, it spiraled out of control and picked up a really weird reputation. For boys, there's this expectation that they're wild, feral, never stop, hyperactive, rough and tumble, always moving. And even for questionable behaviors, parents are often met with attitudes such as, oh, boys will be boys. On the flip side, girls are supposed to be calm, demure, nurturing, and really into ballet. And there are people who take it to absolute extremes, such as suggesting that boys playing with dolls or girls playing with trains is somehow going to shape their sexual orientation. From the best knowledge that we currently have, it appears that sexual orientation is determined by a much more complex interplay of genetic, hormonal, and environmental factors. But this does not include childhood play. There are lots of longitudinal studies following children from early childhood into adulthood, and those studies show no link between playing with gender non-conforming toys and later gender identity or sexual orientation. These findings basically suggest that childhood play is exploratory in nature and essential for developing a range of social and cognitive skills. Moreover, if we look at the history, those tiny gender stereotypes have been changing across time as well. For example, did you know that pink used to be a boy color? In the early 1900s, pink was suggested a bold, strong color suitable for boys, whereas blue was often assigned to girls because it was perceived as calm and comforting. Pink only really became the hallmark of femininity in the mid-20th century. Despite being a little baby, my girl has been gender profiled multiple times. You see, she's very, very big. She's on like 99th plus percentile by weight. If I dress her in clothing that doesn't scream girl, doesn't have like pink colors or butterflies or ruffles, anyone we meet, in most cases, will refer to her as a boy. I don't find it offensive or sad or anything like that. This is just an observation on how ingrained certain things are in our brains in regards to genders and their characteristics that are actually irrelevant. Many stereotypes that we take for granted are nothing more than social constructs, and very recent ones at that. Also, if you're a parent yourself, you know very well that if you tried to fit kids into two neat boxes of what they play with and what they like, you would have failed miserably, because guess what? They're all individuals. You will typically see my son quietly flipping through books or playing puzzles. And he was always a very chill baby. And to this day, yes, he does enjoy sports, but he is not much of a rough and tumble kind of guy. But at the same time, my boy's favorite toys are cars, trucks, dinosaurs, anything you would expect from a little boy. So, does he demonstrate some stereotypical boy behaviors and traits? Yes. But does his whole personality neatly fit into the boy box? No way! My baby girl is very young still, but I can already see a difference in that she's hitting those movement based milestones much sooner. She's much more motivated to move and explore, and she has a completely different demeanor altogether. I think it's really, really important as parents to pursue our children's natural interests. And no, it's not at all the same as raising babies and avoiding any reference to their biological gender. We refer to our children as a boy and a girl, but it doesn't mean we're going to dictate what they play with or what colors they wear. I think seeing them express themselves in so many different ways is one of the most rewarding parts of parenting. When kids are encouraged to explore their unique personalities and preferences, this allows them to build confidence, creativity, and resilience. Imposing stereotypes, however, can limit their growth and send the message that they need to fit into a certain mold to be accepted. Whether it's a boy wanting to dance or a girl wanting to build Lego towers, all we do is nurture their authentic selves. And at the end of the day, being a boy, being a girl, being a boy mom, being a girl mom doesn't define us as kids or as parents. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and see you next time.